Hi, my name is John.
And my name is Lloyd.
And we're the hosts of The Pint,
a pop culture podcast.
Lloyd, if you had to tell any of the people out there that might be listening to The Pint for the first time about anything unsavory or disconcerting we might do on the show, what would you warn them about?
Well, sometimes we drop spoilers, and sometimes we swear like motherfucking sailors.
Fuck yeah, we do. You heard it from him. You've been warned.
Listen in.
Welcome to your 325th episode of The Pint, a pop culture podcast. My name is John.
And my name is Lloyd.
And 325, right? So what we're going to do tonight for our 325th episode and our first of March of 2024, we're going to take that a pop culture podcast subtitle we have and really dig into it. You know, let's just be honest. Mostly we're a movie show. We do some comic stuff. Sometimes we do lists, but mostly we do some music, but mostly movies. Today on the show, what we're going to do is we're going to each talk about three things in the giant universe of pop culture. If you ever find our I guess, you know, our profiles out there on the interwebs, exploring greater geekdom it was a catchphrase that we kind of put in there.
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's what it says. And you know what? Let's explore greater geekdom. Let's talk about some of the stuff that we're enjoying right now, whether it be newer, whether it be older, whether it be a movie, a book, a TV show, whether it be a store, maybe, hint, hint. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Manster, you excited? Are you ready for this one? I'm excited.
I am ready. Yeah.
I'm so excited for multiple reasons. Number one, 325. That's a big number. Number two, this will be fun to do. And number three, and most importantly, the shorter episodes are so easy to edit.
Yeah, right?
I have got a fucking action-packed week at work, and I'm busy, so this is going to be a good one. Manster, I'm going to go to you first. What is something that you want the listeners of The Pint to know about that they should go check out?
Yeah, so I came on board this show and another show on my list a little bit late. But this show recently, I think, won. I don't really get into all those award shows, but I think this show won something recently. It's on HBO, and it's called Succession.
Oh, I hear that's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. Really good. It's it's like way above my head. Like the people in this show are so freaking smart and business-wise and all that kind of stuff. And watching it, you know, I actually learn stuff. I watch it with Candy sometimes, and I have to ask her to explain certain things to me.
Come here, Candy. What does escrow mean?
yeah, right. What's escrow? So you know, if you don't know about it, it's a drama, but it's a comedy drama TV series, you know, from HBO. I guess it's already done. I wasn't even aware of that. I'm halfway through. I just got through the end of the second season yesterday.
It just finished.
Yeah, it just finished
months ago. Yeah.
So I got 2 more seasons to go. So hopefully I don't drop any spoilers. I try to keep anything that I'll say to the first season. But basically it centers on this family, the Roy family, owners of a global media, like entertainment conglomerate, Waystar. And basically it's just the struggle, their fight for control among the technologies and the health of the family and family like interactions and all that stuff, relationships. And it's so fun to watch, even though it's so outside of my world. I love it. It stars Brian Cox as a billionaire, you know, the OG original Hannibal Lecter himself.
Also the man that we learned during Deptember doesn't like Johnny Depp, remember?
Yes, you're right. I think it was 2022 New Year's Eve night. He was on one of those New Year's Eve shows. And I forget who it was. Whoever does those shows was interviewing him. He was the most depressing fucking guy to listen to. He was talking about death and all kinds of things. Oh, shut up, dude. Anyway, and it's got his children, Alan Ruck being his oldest child.
Oh,
Alan Ruck from
let my Cameron go.
yeah, yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Alan Ruck. Um, Jeremy Strong. A lot of these people I don't even know. Jeremy Strong as basically the eldest child from his second marriage. He's the second in command, sort of, but he struggles with addiction and kind of botching up some major deals, stuff like that. I guess he does a lot of stuff on Broadway. Then Sarah Snook as daughter Shiv. Really cool. Everybody in the show is so smart and has such an attitude and forthrightness, and they're so blunt and they're brilliant. And then Kieran Culkin as the youngest brother, who's a total, I don't even want to say fuck up. He just doesn't. He seems to not take anything seriously, but he's really smart in some things. But he jokes around all the time. And the most bizarre thing ever was when I guess I'll give away one little spoiler. He and one of I forget her title. Her name is Jerry on the show, but she's like one under command of the head guy. She's a older, not old woman, but she's older than this character. And he masturbates like in front of her. And she
nice.
she plays kind of like the mother and like, are you done yet, you fucking filthy pig? It's so bizarre. It's so funny to watch.
That's my move. That's my move. Yeah, I've been perfecting that for years.
So I really enjoy the show. I can't wait to watch the next 2 seasons.
All right, so Succession on HBO Max, or Max as they're calling it now.
Yeah,
I'm just going to call it HBO Max.
Now.
I'm just going to call it HBO Max. I don't fucking care if they drop the HBO.
Back in my day, it was HBO.
Yeah, that's the kind of show that I probably should watch because it sounds really good and I only hear good things about it. But I've just come to the realization that even in my late 40s, that if there's not like a laser gun or someone in a mask or I could never watch Mad Men for that reason. It's too adult. I have to do.
It's very adult.
When I watch TV, I want it to be fantastic. So and if it's not like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, those things I could watch, but those are heightened reality, All right, so that is the Manster's first recommendation. My first recommendation is a movie. I'll get that right out of the way. So I recently got the AMC Stubbs package, the A-list, where you get the, I think you have it, right? Three,
I have that.
3 movies a week. I'm failing at it. I'm going to the movies much
you're
more.
At that, well, you're at a level higher than me.
Oh, I'm A-list, buddy.
Yes.
I'm A-list. I don't fuck around.
I'm just B-list.
Okay. You're the guy that I send to go get my popcorn for me. When we go together.
I get the popcorn upgrade. You probably get a free popcorn every time.
I don't think I do. But they will deliver snacks to my seat, but I refuse to do that. That seems too bougie for me. I'm an everyman. I'm an everyman. I'm an everyman. I will go and get my my snacks. But so I just check every few days and see what's playing, and I've been trying to get out and go see more movies. I've seen probably about 7 or 8 movies in the last few months. I'm not probably going to re-up to this level because I'm not doing that amount, and they're winning. They're getting my money, but it's good to know I have it. So the last time I had seen a movie, about a month ago, I saw a trailer for a film that I had heard nothing about. Now, I'm on the internet all day long, fucking around. We have a pop culture podcast, so I generally know a lot of stuff coming out, and I hear things. I hadn't heard of this movie at all. And it apparently had come out within the last week or so. And I saw it on my app when I went to look at movies. So I went and saw it the other night. It is a film called Land of Bad. It is Liam Hemsworth, Russell Crowe, Milo Ventimiglia, who I suddenly realized with this movie that I've got a crush on him.
Heroes, right?
Fairly gay for him. Yeah. Fairly. Yeah. He plays a Green Beret, and he is in top-notch shape.
Wow.
He's looking fucking good in this.
He puts the master to shame.
He kind of does, but he's also probably about 15 years younger than you. And so in that level, he doesn't put you to shame. So anyways, the film is about Liam Hemsworth plays what's called a JTAC, which is in military terms, the person who goes with a go team, like, like the SEALs or the Green Berets on missions, and he's the intermediary that controls drone strikes. So he's the guy who has like this little like computer on his on the front of his vest, and if they need a drone to check out a ridge, he calls in the coordinates. So they go to the Philippines on a mission, and he's seen very little action, and just as you could expect, things go to shit. Solid fucking action, some really good character stuff. Russell Crowe plays the drone pilot that is in America that is corresponding with him. And Russell Crowe has not been this good in anything I've seen in a long fucking time.
All right.
It's a supporting role, but he's really good in it. This movie came out of nowhere and wowed the fuck out of me. I was really fucking pleased with it. We're not doing it on the show, so on our rating scale, I gave it a 4. I enjoyed the shit out of this movie, and it's not doing well, and it's already, like, I think I had mentioned it to somebody else, and they were like, yeah, it's playing once in my theater, like, one time during the day.
One showing a day.
So I'll tell everybody out there, if you listen to this week and it's out, and you want to check something out and see something a little bit fresh and different, go check out Land of Bad. It's by the same guy that wrote and directed Underwater with Kristen Stewart a couple years ago, which I like that movie.
Yeah. You like that movie.
I did, very much so. Yep. So he's at least for what I've seen, he's 2 for 2. And the other thing is, and I'm not a Witcher fan, right? I don't care about the show The Witcher.
Yeah.
But I know that Cavill is leaving and they're replacing him in the same role with Liam Hemsworth. And I even thought to myself, that doesn't seem to fit. Liam Hemsworth beefed up for this role. Like, he is more like Chris Hemsworth in this one, and I can now see him playing that Cavill character. So, Land of Bad, go to your local theater, check it out, and if you miss it, because it's just going to be gone very soon, when that thing pops up on DVD or Blu-ray in like June, jump right on it. I can't recommend that one enough. All right, Master, what do you got next?
It'll probably be streaming on, I don't know, Peacock or something.
It'll be on one of those. Watch it.
Yeah, something. I got another show. You know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do something totally different.
Ooh, I like this.
It's not probably what you think, but here it goes. So lately, and for actually a year now, probably closer to 2 years, I've been playing this little game on my phone. Right? It's a popular game. Everybody talks about it. It's called Wordle.
Wordle. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a massive like 700 game winning streak going, and I fucking blew it yesterday or the day before. I didn't get the word. I was so upset. But anyway, I love that. So I'm hooked on all these New York Times games now. I know you can get an app, but I just have a little link on my phone. So there's Wordle. Then there's one called Connections, where you get a grid of 16 words, and you have to just like tap 4 different words that have some sort of, connection, some sort of relationship between the 4 words. But they're always tricking you because they do words that also connect with other words. And, so you get 3 tries to get, if you get 3 wrong answers, you can't get another wrong answer. That's really fun.
Okay.
Then they have the daily mini crossword puzzle. So I like that as well. It's, just blast right through it while you're on your phone in the bathroom at work,
Taking a fucking number 2, playing. Yeah. Okay.
Taking a deuce, playing some Wordle or some crossword. And then another one called Letterboxd. Funnily enough, you're a big fan of the Letterboxd movie app.
Absolutely. I love that app.
But Letterboxd is it's a square, and each side of the square has 3 letters. So there's, you do the math, you can figure it out. And then you have to try to connect letters on different sides of the box to make a word. And they say, hey, you can do this in 5 words, or you can do this in 4 words. But my goal every single time I play it is to figure it out in 2 words.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's good to have goals.
Very, very difficult to do sometimes. So that's my goal, and I have fun with it. I'm a bit of a, I don't know if you ever knew this, but I love word games. I'm always into word games and puzzles and things like that. So
yeah, I know that because I have
perfect for me.
Right up here, taped to one of my comic book boxes, I have from Balderdash. I have the word Putti, Pooty,
Pooty,
which, as written, was a woodworking paste But if I remember correctly, it was also a what was it? A Mediterranean sausage of some sort.
Yeah, Mediterranean sausage. Eating what was it before noon?
Before noon. Mediterranean sausage you eat before noon. This is a deep pull to a Balderdash game that we had played. Probably prior to the Pint at my house when we used to play games here all the time. And Lloyd brought the game Balderdash, which I had never played before, and we had such a laugh over the word Putti, Putti, that I have kept all these years later. I put some glue on the back of of the little sheet of paper, and I put it on the front of on the front of my Walking Dead long box.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. So
little Putti.
All right, so that's good. New York Times games. Games are good. It's good for someone, especially of your advanced age, Manster, to keep your mental capacity sharp as a fucking machine.
I try, man.
All right, let's see. You know what? Next, I'm going to go with a podcast, okay? So last year, at some point, Sue and I had done a show where we talked about, I think, 5 podcasts each that we both listened to, or he listens to, and 5 that I listen to, and championed them. Podcasting is the one, and I think I mentioned this on that show, it's the one kind of entertainment form that I will not listen to like professional ones. There's so many amateur and like us, there's so many podcasts out there, local people just doing good content, that I don't want, as much as I love the It's Always Sunny from Philadelphia guys, I won't listen to their podcast because that's taking an hour away from somebody that's doing it, for the love of it.
Right.
You can't really do that with movies and TV for the most part.
Totally agree.
Movies and TV, are essentially a product of, of Hollywood or whatever. And it's not as easy to find, self-published books, but podcasts are everywhere and they're easy to find. I don't know. I think it was on Instagram. Somehow this podcast started showing up on my, my algorithm. And I said, fuck it. After, following them and liking their posts and stuff, I decided to check out Doom Generation. Go to doomgenerationpod.com. That's their website. It's 2 girls, Tessa and Nicole. And it's a movie show, but these 2 are funny as fuck. They remind me in a lot of ways with their kind of bawdy humor, and just their attitudes of our friends over at Rock Candy. Ashley and Maggie, who unfortunately their show ended. But they were awesome, and they had this rhythm and a real friendship that you could feel through the show. Doom Generation does that in spades as well. Some of the episodes they've done recently, they did Poltergeist, they did Popeye with Robin Williams very recently, they did Cabin Boy, they did Less Than Zero, and they have a really good banter, and they do a very similar show in terms of like format as what we do, where they go through the whole movie and discuss it, but man, oh man, are they better at it than us, because
really?
Boy, oh boy, man.
They actually get it right.
They get it right, and they go scene by scene. Like it's not like us with like, oh wait, go back, like we got to go back 5 scenes. And I'll give us credit, Manster. I think that's part of our charm. Maybe our listeners don't believe that, but I think that's part of our charm. I've mentioned it before. I don't take hardcore notes. I don't take notes as I watch a movie. I'm doing everything kind of off of listening to you or Larry or whoever else is on and just going with the feel. I think that works for us, but these guys clearly take notes. On a recent episode, they were going through it and they had mentioned like how many pages they had left to go through, but very entertaining.
How long is their podcast?
An hour and 10 minutes. They're in and out.
Say that and have that copious notes.
What they do differently than us is like, because I think part of our show is we spend time with the production and with the cast. Like we actually spend probably 20 minutes on that stuff alone a lot of times. They do that stuff, or at least they do cast, but they just run through it. It's just like Kevin Bacon. They don't go through and start talking.
Get it. Yep.
It's a really funny show. They have a good YouTube channel as well. And I became a patron based on it because I wanted to hear more. And their patron is pretty good. And you get some. They just did an episode. It was one we were going to do last year in October, right around the time when my wife passed, and we kind of got lost in the shuffle. And you would love this. They did what's the David Bowie vampire lesbian movie?
Oh, The Hunger.
The Hunger. We were going to do The
Yeah.
Hunger, and that just got kind of lost in the wind, and they did The Hunger, and I was very glad. I haven't watched it yet, but I was like, they made me want to watch that movie. So
Yeah, definitely.
So Doom Generation episodes are weekly, and I think they're at like episode 150 around this point. So still not too long in the tooth, and you can go back and listen to a lot of stuff. All right, Master, what do you got?
You speaking of podcasts, it's kind of funny. I subscribe to a lot of podcasts, but I have not listened to a podcast in at least 2 or 3 weeks, not one. And I feel bad because some of my favorite podcasts, I feel like I'm doing them a disservice, like the countdown and stuff like that. But I will tell you what I have been listening to. Instead, I have a pretty big library of Audible books. I hadn't listened to any in years. I used to listen to them. I used to drive, believe it or not, an hour and a half to work each way. And I used to listen to a lot of good books that way. And then, my drive to work got shorter and shorter. And to be honest, I mean, who's going to listen to a podcast of a book at home? You're just not going to do it.
Right.
In my opinion, anyway. Maybe there's lots of people out there, and if you do, that's great. But I can't just sit there on my couch and listen to a podcast. And if I am listening to something, I can't be doing something else because then you're going to miss stuff. So I've been listening on my short, 20, 25-minute ride to work. That's why I've missed podcasting. But what I've been listening to is old favorite of mine, Stephen King, The Talisman.
Oh, Peter Straub, right?
Peter Straub. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to say Peter Straub. They actually had 2, I believe. So that's their first joint venture of The Territories, which was heavily featured in The Dark Tower. I mean, that's what it was all about. But if I remember right, this was the first blatant, description of the territories and what it was and how there's different universes and all that kind of stuff. And the guy who reads this is amazing. I don't know. I mean, I think it was one of those Game of Thrones books that I also listened to an audiobook of it. And, there's so many characters in Game of Thrones. And the reader does different voices. It's like character actors for every voice. So the guy who's reading The Talisman, I didn't even write down his name, but he's so fantastic. And every character has a different voice. And I don't know how you could possibly keep track of all the characters in a Stephen King book and have a unique voice for everyone.
Yeah, really.
But it's pretty frigging amazing. And the story is great. I've read the book, I think 3 times, but I probably haven't read it or listened to it since, I'll say probably the 1990s. So it's a long time ago. The last time I read this book. And go ahead.
Like a new experience then, listening to it.
Yeah. Because you know me, when I watch something the second time, it's usually kind of like the first time again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I do remember a lot of the stuff, but kind of like I remember it as it's being read. And yeah, it's just fantastic. And I'm so in love with it. And yeah, who knows? I may even get a new tattoo somehow related to it. I don't know.
Ooh.
Because my kid's Ash's 19th birthday was just this week, and he asked me for a tattoo. And said, "Can you and I go out and get tattoos, Dad, for my birthday?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it, absolutely." So now I got to come up with a new tattoo.
Wow, that's a big birthday right there.
Yeah.
They don't ask you that. They don't ask you that at 9 years old, and if they do, nope. you're raising a miscreant.
Yeah.
Hey, Pa, I'm 9 years old. Let's go get some tattoos. I want to get a girl with titties and an anchor. Yeah. I want to get old school sailor tattoos.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, that's it. I'm enjoying my return to the territories with good old Jack Sawyer and Richard Sloat and Wolf and all these awesome characters in that book.
All right. I do listen to podcasts at home, but not in the way you mentioned. I don't sit on my couch and just have earphones in. When I get home, and I have to do like, my whatever it is of the day of fucking chores. Like I got to do laundry and I've got to do this, I got to do that. I throw my earbuds in and I'll just listen to whatever I listen to in the car. I'll just transfer it in. Obviously, it's on my phone, and I'll just continue to listen to it. And I'm good about paying attention, and it's a good way for me to be able to get through podcasts because I listen to I probably listen to probably 7 or 8 podcasts regularly. Some of them every once in a while I'll miss an episode and have to go back to it. But like I have a short commute, so an hour-long podcast could last me 4 fucking days,
Yeah, right.
So listening to them in the house when I'm doing stuff, boy, there are some days I'm off, and between going out and driving around and listening in the house, I'll get 2 and done in one day, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm the smartest man on earth. Because then there are other weeks where, like, literally a 52-minute long podcast takes me 5 fucking days to get through.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of maddening.
I can do a podcast in the house, but I just can't listen to an audiobook because as soon as I miss something, I find myself, half an hour later, wait a minute, where are we?
Yeah.
So if I'm listening to a book, it's got to be nothing but that.
All right. So our last thing to talk about for this episode is a very magical place that Lloyd and I have spent many magical hours at, enjoying, having fun. We mention it on the show all the time. And if you are from around here, if you're a Connecticuter, what is it? Connecticutian? What do we got going on?
Well,
Nutmegger?
I remember what the aforementioned rock candy podcast ladies called us.
What did they call us?
Connecticunts.
Connecticunts. Okay. if you are a Connecticut, as dubbed by Ashley and Maggie, you've heard us talk about the archive. Now, you probably know what it is. If you're not a listener from here and you hear us say the archive in passing, you're probably like, what is this place they're always talking about? So go to the archivect.com and that will be your first little viewing into what it is. There is a company called Vinegar Syndrome. They are a movie restoration, film restoration company that does just that. Reason they're called Vinegar Syndrome is because apparently during the process of restoring the film, it smells like vinegar. That company opened in 2012, and they started to release their own Blu-rays and 4Ks under their own label. In 2017, some of the guys who run Vinegar Syndrome, I'm not sure how the ownership of all of this works out, opened up essentially a brick and mortar store in the same building as Vinegar Syndrome called The Archive. What is The Archive? The Archive is a record store, a DVD store, a Blu-ray store, a bookstore, a game store. I could tell you this, and I think you'll agree with this, Master. From its humble beginnings to now, it has gotten so much, and not that it was bad at the beginning, it was good at the beginning, but they're constantly evolving. They're constantly adding new areas in the store. Just an awesome place to go hang out.
Yeah, the room in the back with the posters and the Exorcist picture on the wall and a couple of seats and all the books and T-shirts back there. And then last time I went there, which was only a couple of weeks ago, I went up to the second floor, and that's all redone from the last time I went up there, loaded with albums, really good albums. I went up there because I wanted to get a copy of Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album, because I do not own that, and I've been looking for it. And every time I find something, it's like some super 30th anniversary version, which is exactly what they had on the wall. It was $75. I'm like, I just want a record that I'm going to play. I'm going to bring home, put it on my record player, which I got last year maybe. And ever since I've just been buying albums, and I'm enjoying it, and I like it down there. Always fun to be there. Always, almost always see someone or even see someone behind the counter that someone who works there. The owners, it's great. Love it.
I've gone there multiple times by myself on a day where you weren't around, or I got out of work and I was bored. And I think I've run into Larry like twice randomly.
Yeah.
Scary Larry. It's just, if you're a horror or genre movie fan, it is such an awesome place to have. It's in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's on 118 Congress Street. Bridgeport, kind of rough driving around that town. I'm not from there, and if you have any hesitation into heading down to Bridgeport, I can tell you this right now. It's literally right off the exit and right back onto the highway. Easy on, easy off. You get off an exit, you drive down 2 streets, you park on the side street, you get back out, you go back up, you're gone.
Do not park in the church parking lot.
No, we got in trouble for that. We parked in the church parking lot and some lady started giving us beef. I thought I was going to have to throw hands on an old lady.
Yeah, right.
She's like, and she was picking, remember? It was like, okay, sorry, yeah. we didn't know. You knew. No, ma'am, we really didn't. We'll move right now.
Sign there?
Yeah, you saw that sign. No, we didn't. We really didn't. Like, I'm gonna end up getting into a fight with an 80-year-old black woman, and I'm probably gonna get my fucking head crushed. That's the worst part about it. But yeah, they have books, they have posters, they have used DVDs, they have used Blu-rays, they have new Blu-rays, new DVDs, they have exclusive Vinegar Syndrome stuff. If you go to Instagram, it's at the Archive CT, and the downstairs area is all used vinyl. If you're looking for some vintage, like porny type stuff, you're in luck because they have a lot of that too. But always friendly people working behind the counter there, always a good time, and it's just such an awesome place. So the next time you hear us say the Archive, hopefully this episode, if you didn't know, kind of gives you an idea of what exactly we're talking about.
Yeah, and I just want to shout out and say to Eric, Hot Coffee Lawsuit, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I have not gotten down yet, but Eric treated Lloyd and I to a couple of gift cards there for Christmas, and I cannot wait to get down because I have not been there in probably about a month and a half, 2 months, and
oh geez,
I'm raring for something great to pick up and watch. So go to the Archive. All right, well that's it. We recommended all that stuff. Before we go though, before Manster tells everybody where you can find us, I want to bring this up one more time. I brought it up briefly, I think on one of our last episodes. I don't know if it was on Patreon or not. Speaking of podcasts, just to give them a little bit of hype, on May 1st, Mike and Mike from Forgotten Cinema, they're back. Their show is coming back. They were done for a year, and in October they did a month of they did Forgotten Horror. They did a month of Halloween stuff, and I kept telling them, I'm like, you're going to come back. You're going to come back. And they kept denying it. Field, especially, oh no, we're not. But he kept saying, Butler wants me to. I don't want to. And he texted me maybe about a month and a half ago and said, okay, we're coming back May 1st. They dropped the Patreon. I signed up for it. They had multiple levels. I just went in for, I think, their second tier, some extra content, but want to support them as well. Those guys are really great. We've done a lot of good stuff here. A couple Forgotten Februaries. We're doing Forgotten sequels. That kind of got put on hold with everything that happened last year, but we're going to be doing Tron Legacy in the next month or so. So just go check them out if you haven't. Forgotten Cinema. If you were a listener and you stopped listening, then go back into your podcatcher and resubscribe, because starting on 5/1 of 24, you're going to start getting some new episodes of Forgotten Cinema. That's all I got, Manster. Tell them where they can find us, and let's get the fuck out of here.
All your podcatchers on your phone, you can find us there. We come out every week. FaceTurb
again.
Facebook and YouTube. It's at the Pint, a pop culture podcast. On Instagram and Threads, it's at the Pint Podcast. And of course, on Patreon, you can become a Pint Insider at www.patreon.com/thepint.
See ya.
See ya.
Pooty, P-U-T-T-I.
Pooty.
A woodworking
Nice
paste. A woodworking paste, or a Mediterranean sausage that's to be enjoyed before 10 a.m. Which one do you think is a better definition for that word?
Me?
No, I'm the listener.
The audience.
The audience.
It's over, Johnny. It's over! Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!